Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon. Bold and beautiful preview. We knew it was coming. Finn betrays Steffy. The writing couldn't have been any bigger on the wall, could it? The bold and the beautiful set Finn down a one-way road to betraying Steffy the minute he started going on about his birth mother Tim, 24/7. And although he just, and we mean just, promised Steffy that if it came down to her or Shyla, he'd always pick her, he might as well have had his fingers crossed behind his back. In the Friday, March 17 episode, Finn struggles mightily with his decision to stand by his wife instead of the woman who attempted to murder her, shot him, her mother, stepmother and grandmother, and killed Lansday in cold bees. Blood. Whether on that very day or shortly thereafter, we know what's coming, don't we all? Finn betrays Steffy by sneaking around behind her back to see Shyla. It's a very different kind of love triangle that's forming. On one hand, the doctor wants to do right by his missus. On the other, short a few brain cells, he is as drawn to his murderous mother as a moth is to a flame. When he destroys his own life, he will have no one to blame but himself. Literally everyone he knows has explained in terms a 2-year-old would understand that Shyla is bad news. Even the psycho's fiancé Deacon has already had to remind her that she's changed. Sure, January. Because what's the first thing that she's wanted to do since being given a new lease on life? Run around shocking people, bleepless. We'd pay $1 gazillion to see this scene play out, but that's one confrontation that will never happen. Read why here. The only question is, after Finn betrays Steffy, what then? There have already been signs that Bold and Beautiful is going to move him toward hope, presumably just in time for Thomas to return. And Steffy is now situated to get thrown into a triangle with Liam and Ivy, whose intentions toward her old flame are pretty clear. The sun set like a smear of blood on the horizon, casting long shadows across the manicured lawns of the Forrester estate. In the dimming light, the tension crackled like static electricity, setting nerves on edge and hearts racing. Tonight was not just another evening in the opulent world of the Bold and Beautiful. It was a reckoning, a moment that would shatter alliances and redefine loyalties, and at the heart of it all stood Finn, his once unwavering devotion now teetering on the edge of betrayal. Steffy Forrester paced the length of her sprawling living room, her steps echoing in the cavernous space like the beat of a war drum. Her emerald eyes flashed with fury, a stark contrast to the elegant composure she usually exuded. She knew something was amiss, could feel it in her bones like a premonition of doom. Even she, with all her intuition and cunning, could never have predicted the betrayal that lurked just beyond the threshold of her home. As the minutes stretched into eternity, a knock sounded at the door, sharp and insistent. Steffy hesitated for a moment, her hand hovering over the ornate handle, before finally wrenching it open to reveal Finn standing on the threshold, his expression unreadable in the half-light. "Finn," Steffy breathed, her voice barely a whisper. "What is it? What's wrong?" Finn's gaze faltered for the briefest of moments before he squared his shoulders and stepped into the room, the weight of his confession hanging heavy in the air, like a guillotine poised to fall. "I've been keeping something from you, Steffy," he said, his voice raw with emotion. "Something that I should have told you a long time ago." Steffy's heart stuttered in her chest, a sickening sense of dread pooling in the pit of her stomach. She had known, of course, that their relationship was not without its secrets, but she had never imagined that Finn would be the one to betray her trust. "What is it?" she demanded, her voice cold and clipped. "What have you been hiding from me?" Finn hesitated, his eyes darting to the floor as if unable to meet Steffy's gaze, and then, in a voice barely above a whisper, he confessed the unthinkable. "I've been seeing someone else," he said, each word heavy with the weight of his deception. "Her name is Shyla, and she's the mother of my child." Steffy recoiled as if struck, the air rushing from her lungs in a choked gasp. Sheila Carter, the woman whom had haunted her nightmares for years, the woman whose very name was synonymous with betrayal and destruction. And now she had wormed her way into Steffy's life once again, stealing the man she loved right out from under her nose. "How could you?" Steffi whispered, her voice trembling with a mixture of rage and heartbreak. "After everything we've been through, after everything I've done to protect you, how could you do this to me?" Finn reached out a trembling hand, his fingers brushing against Steffi's cheek in a feeble attempt to offer comfort. But she jerked away as if burned, the sting of his betrayal searing her skin like a branding iron. "I'm sorry, Steffi," Finn pleaded, his voice thick with tears. "I never meant to hurt you. I never wanted any of this to happen." But Steffi was beyond hearing, her mind consumed with a white-hot fury that threatened to consume her from within. Without a word, she turned on her heel and fled the room, leaving Finn standing alone in the wreckage of their shattered love. Outside, the night air was thick with the scent of jasmine and regret as Steffi stumbled blindly through the moonlit gardens, her tears mingling with the dew that clung to the petals of the roses that lined the path. She had been a fool to trust Finn, a fool to believe that their love could conquer all. But now, as she stood on the brink of despair, she knew that she could never forgive him for the ultimate betrayal. And somewhere in the darkness, a shadow stirred, a figure lurking in the shadows with a sinister smile playing at the corners of her lips. Sheila Carter had always been a master of manipulation, a puppeteer pulling the strings of fate to suit her own nefarious purposes. And now, with Finn's betrayal laid bare for all the world to see, she knew that her moment of triumph was at hand. The stage was set, the players assembled, and the pieces in motion. In the world of the bold and beautiful, where love and betrayal walked hand in hand, anything was possible. And as the first light of dawn crept over the horizon, casting long shadows across the landscape, one thing was certain: the fallout from Finn's betrayal would shake the very foundations of the Forrester dynasty, leaving destruction in its wake. In the sprawling hills of Los Angeles, where secrets lurk behind every designer curtain and passion simmers beneath the sun-kissed facade of luxury, there lies a love story destined for turmoil. Steffi Forrester, the epitome of strength and grace, has found herself entwined in a romance as tumultuous as the crashing waves of the Pacific Ocean. Bold and beautiful, she stands as a beacon of resilience, yet even the strongest hearts are susceptible to the sting of betrayal. As the morning mist dissipates over the Forrester estate, a sense of unease permeates the air. The scent of freshly cut gardenias mingles with the subtle aroma of brewing coffee, creating an atmosphere teetering on the edge of anticipation. Within the elegant confines of the Forrester mansion, Steffi paces the marble floors, her emerald eyes betraying the turmoil swirling within her soul. She knows, deep down, that the calm she's been basking in is but a fleeting illusion. In the heart of this storm stands Dr. John Finnegan, a man whose gentle demeanor belies the shadows lurking in his past. Handsome and enigmatic, Finn has been the anchor in Steffi's tempest-tossed life, offering solace in moments of chaos. Yet beneath his stoic facade lies a truth that threatens to unravel the very fabric of their love. The day unfolds like a carefully choreographed dance, each step leading closer to the inevitable reckoning. Amidst the bustle of Forrester Creations, where fashion reigns supreme, whispers of discord flutter like silk chiffon in the breeze. Colleagues exchange knowing glances, their hushed conversations punctuated by the clack of stiletto heels on polished marble floors. The tension is palpable, a tangible force that binds them all in a web of secrets and lies. As the sun reaches its zenith, casting long shadows across the manicured lawns of the Forrester estate, Steffi finds herself face to face with the truth she's been so desperately trying to evade. Standing in the doorway of their opulent home, Finn's expression is a mosaic of guilt and resignation. In that moment, time stands still, the world falling away as Steffi confronts the betrayal that threatens to shatter her fragile heart.